You know, buying insurance can feel like you're trying to find your way through a maze in the dark. Are you really protected? Can you actually trust the advice you're getting? It's a lot to worry about. That's why today, we're going to shed some light on the whole thing and break down the official rulebook. We'll be tapping into the expertise of Dr. Sudhindra S.G. to give you a really clear guide to the rules that are designed to protect you. So let's dive right in.
Here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about all those common worries that might be keeping you up at night. Then, we'll introduce the official watchdog that's got your back. After that, we'll look at the specific code of conduct for agents, and we'll wrap up with some critical red flags that absolutely every consumer needs to know about. All right, first up, let's get right to the heart of it. Those nagging questions and anxieties that pretty much always pop into your head the second you even think about buying an insurance policy. I mean, it's a huge financial decision, right? So it's totally natural to feel a little bit uncertain. Because when you think about it, you're not just buying a piece of paper. You're buying a promise that someone will be there for you when things go wrong. So do any of these sound familiar? Is this policy legit? Can I really trust this agent? Is there anyone even watching over these massive companies? And of course, the big one, when I actually need the money, will they pay up? Or are there going to be some hidden clauses in a complicated process designed to trip me up? Look, these aren't just paranoid thoughts. They are completely valid concerns. And the good news is, the system is designed specifically to address every single one of them. So, who exactly is making sure this whole system works for you? Well, that brings us to the main guardian, the official protector of your interests as a policyholder. Meet the IRDA. That stands for the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. It was set up back in 2000, and its #1 mission is crystal clear: to protect your interests. Its job is to regulate the entire industry and make sure that the game is always being played fairly. Yeah, probably the best way to think about the IRDI is like a referee in a football match. They don't play for your team and they don't play for the insurance company's team. Their only job is to stand in the middle, watch everything that happens, and enforce the rules to ensure fair play for everybody. And when we say they watch everyone, we mean everyone. Their authority is incredibly broad, from the giant insurance companies themselves all the way down to the individual agents, the brokers, and even the surveyors and TPAs who handle claims. Every single player on that field is licensed and regulated by the IRDA. There's nobody left unsupervised. Now, of course, every referee needs a rulebook, right? So what are the actual laws that give the IRDA its power to protect you? It really all comes down to two main pillars. On one hand, you've got the Insurance Act of 1938. That's the original foundation, the bedrock of all of this. Then, building on top of that, you have the IRDA Act of 1999. This is the modern law that officially created the IRDA as the powerful, independent regulator that we have today. And you can see the evolution pretty clearly here. The foundation was laid way back in 1938, the whole framework got a modern update in 1999, and then the official referee, the IRDA, was put on the field in the year 2000. So this isn't some new, untested system. It's one that's been built and strengthened over decades. Okay, let's get practical now. The person you're most likely going to interact with directly is the insurance agent, and you need to know they have a very specific set of rules that they absolutely must follow. See, an agent isn't just some random person who decides to start selling insurance. There's a whole process. They have to meet minimum education levels, they have to go through mandatory practical training, and then they have to pass a pretty tough exam. Only after all that do they get a license, and even that is only valid for 3 years. Then they have to renew it, which often means more training. The point is, they are meant to be qualified professionals. And this is the part you really need to remember. Every single licensed agent has to follow a strict code of conduct. They are required by law to identify themselves and their company, to explain the policy details clearly, to submit your paperwork on time, and get this, to actually assist you during a claim. These aren't just suggestions for good customer service. It's the law. And just as important is what they are absolutely forbidden from doing. They can't encourage you to hide information, like a pre-existing health condition. They can't offer you some special under-the-table deal that isn't officially from the company. And they can never, ever demand a cut of your claim money. Knowing where these lines are drawn is what truly empowers you in any conversation. Okay, so all of this brings us to our final and maybe most crucial section, the major red flags that, after this, you'll be able to spot from a mile away. Let's start with a big one. And this isn't new. This law has been on the books since 1938. Section 41 of the Insurance Act strictly,
and I mean strictly, prohibits something called rebating. So, what exactly is that?
A rebate is basically an illegal discount. It's when an agent says something like, hey, the premium is 1,000 rupees, but you just pay me 900 and I'll pay the other 100 out of my commission. It's a way to tempt you to buy the policy. But here's the thing. It's illegal for them to offer it, and it's illegal for you to accept it. It might sound like a good deal, but it completely undermines the legal structure of your insurance contract.
And just to show you how seriously the authorities take this, the penalty for breaking this anti-rebate law isn't just a slap on the wrist. We're talking about a fine of up to 10 lakh rupees. This is not a minor technicality. It's a huge deal. Okay, another major red flag to watch for is any mention of multi-level marketing, or MLM. The law is very, very clear on this. You cannot use MLM or pyramid-style schemes to sell insurance. This is to protect people like you from high-pressure sales tactics and to make sure policies are only sold by licensed, properly trained professionals.
So, let's just bring it all together, shall we? The main thing to remember is that there is a system in place with the IRDA as the head referee, and it's built specifically to protect you. The agents you deal with are required to follow a strict code of conduct, and certain practices like offering rebates are completely illegal for a very good reason. The bottom line is, you are now empowered to spot these red flags for yourself.
So, I'll leave you with a final question to think about. Now that you know the rules of the game, you're not just a spectator anymore, you're an informed player. How is that going to change the way you approach your next insurance conversation? Thanks so much for joining us.